My name is Kostas Lozanis. Welcome to my channel. I am a restaurant owner here in Dallas, Texas. I own 2 Greek restaurants specifically. Big news happening in America, and I want to talk about how the strikes with the International Longshoremen's Association will impact my business or restaurants in general. The restaurant business has a very high demand for supplies, as you may know. A lot of our ingredients, especially being a Greek restaurant, are imported. Our olives, our feta cheese, our lamb, so many of the products that we get are international based. And having the entire East Coast of the United States shut down for imports, it could be catastrophic to our business. And it's not just directly imported items you have to think about here. Okay, so we order less scotch from Scotland and we start ordering more whiskey made here in Kentucky. Okay, but the whiskey distilleries in Kentucky order their bottles internationally. They're shipped in, probably from China. And if those bottles aren't coming in, they have no way of putting their whiskey into a vessel to sell to us. So then there's those supply chains. So it's a chain reaction. It's not like you can just substitute. We're so globally infused that no products are moving. Even if you think they are domestic, really they use international parts. So it's not as clean cut as, oh, we'll just buy local. Because even local distributors use international pieces in their packaging and products and things like that. With that being said, being a restaurant owner also means being resilient, being flexible, and being able to pivot. I'm currently talking to all of my distributors right now, discussing ways in which we can navigate these choppy waters. And if there are some suppliers that can get something that's similar, if we have to, in order to just ride out this storm, I think we can effectively explain that to our guests that, we're switching from our Kalamata olives to a different type of olive. That's just a great example of what that would look like. If we have no way of getting our Greek imported beers like Mythos and Fix, perhaps we can look at some of the more local suppliers, craft breweries, things like that, and really highlight and focus on those beers. And then whenever the Greek beers come back, we can celebrate Greek beers for the future whenever we get those re-released. The way I have this planned out in my head, at least, is that you will not have any disruption in your dining experiences. The substitutions will be negligible and unnoticeable to you in your dish. I'm gonna make sure that everything that I do flows very well, and if anything, some guests may say that the substitutions enhance the dishes. The ILA, the International Longshoremen's Association protest, is scheduled to occur for the next 6 to 8 to 12 weeks. I don't know if they come to negotiations before that. I pray that they do. The biggest concern for me, the scariest concern for me, is if I'm able to get those products, a case of leg of lamb or whatever it may be, a case of Bacardi rum. Today that case is $120. Is it gonna be $240 in 3 weeks? And my small business would be decimated by the cost of goods sold, by the food costs, the to-go bags, the cutlery, all those little things, the to-go cups, all those things that we ship in. If they were to double, I don't know that I would be able to absorb those costs. Like, get a loan out and just bite the bullet and pay for those products to keep the business floating in hopes of good times. That would be like my last ditch effort. But without a loan, I mean, we would be operating in a negative cash flow. The business would be losing money to stay afloat if the cost of goods sold, if the items that we sell doubled. Okay, no more doom and gloom. That's just me as like the provider for everybody. My mind goes to the worst case scenario and compartmentalizes that. But listen, one of my favorite chefs said, go to the market, see what's good, and cook it. Meaning, I am ready to completely do a 180 and break all traditional barriers and be so creative with whatever products and ingredients that we can find. And we will sprinkle some oregano on it if it's available. If not, we'll sprinkle some parsley or rosemary on top. But we're gonna find a way. We always find a way, and that's what the key takeaway is. If you're in the restaurant business or in any business that you're in, you gotta be nimble, and you have to be open-minded, and you have to be flexible. To all of my guests, I am working tirelessly behind the scenes, calling all of my suppliers, and I'm building new relationships with new suppliers, some small organic suppliers that are nearby that will be able to help me in a pinch. And we're gonna get through this. I am the business that people use their expendable income on. And if the implications of this entire East Coast shipping shutdown are as bad as they say they are, then it could be a very rough ride for me in my restaurants. And a lot of other small mom and pop owners who, at the end of the day, get impacted the hardest when it comes to these catastrophic events. The big guys, they'll be fine. They can raise the capital and they can weather the storms. But it's us, mom and pop restaurants and mom and pop businesses as a whole, that get the blunt end of it. That's today's video, just kind of reflecting and talking about how this whole thing's gonna impact me. We'll be okay, we always have been, and I pray that the impact of all of this is not nearly as bad as the implications are saying on the news. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.